Chief Twit Elon Musk is apparently declaring war on Social Security benefits. In a completely predictable development, the world's richest man is agreeing with Senator Mike Lee's assessment that the popular New Deal program is a nightmare. Well, only for people who have to pay more in taxes for it. Yes. And if you're incredibly wealthy, like this man is, interesting thread, wrote Musk in response to a post by the senator who once said that he hopes to pull Social Security up by the roots and get rid of it, along with, of course, Medicare and Medicaid. In his new thread, Lee characterized Social Security, which lifts more Americans above the poverty line than any other federal program, is as a, quote, tax plan, insidiously disguised as a retirement plan, and condemned the Social Security Act of 1935 as one of the many, quote, deceptive sales techniques in the U.S. government has used on the American people. That's funny because the U.S. government doesn't sell things. It's not a business. It provides services. And that's what Social Security is. It is a service that uses workers' tax money. So workers, they work, get money taken out of their paycheck, and guess what? Later on, that benefit comes back to them. That money comes back to them as a guaranteed benefit. Yes, I know. And by the way, you get it either when you retire or if you become disabled. You get a guaranteed income so that you can survive and not have to live in complete abject poverty eating cat food. I don't know. It sounds like a great deal to me, right? And it's worked for so many people. In fact, that's why it's one of the most popular, if not the most popular government program in existence. But it doesn't work so well if you're a Wall Street fat cat who wants to take that money and gamble with it on the stock market. Or if you're a social Darwinist that wants to basically see poor people die off because they see them as like subhuman. I'm not sure which one Mike Lee is. Maybe both. Certainly Elon Musk seems to be one of those people who is a more of the social Darwinist type of people, which basically means sociopath. Either way, Lee is still massively lying about the program. All right. Max Richmond, president and CEO of the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, replied Tuesday that Lee's posts amount to a, quote, misrepresentation of Social Security's history and how the program works. Big shocker, right? There's nothing deceptive about Social Security, he says. The social insurance program has been working just fine for nearly 90 years and has never missed a payment. That's right. Never missed a payment. The kind of propaganda Senator Lee posted undermines public support for Social Security, making it easier to cut or privatize the program. It is perhaps no coincidence that Senator Lee's second biggest campaign contributor by industry is the securities and investment sector. Yes. Lee also claimed the federal government, quote unquote, routinely raids the Social Security Trust Fund. That's not true. All right. So now the reality is the Social Security system actually lends surplus to the Treasury. All the money lent to the Treasury ends up being paid back with market-based interest when Social Security needs the funds to pay beneficiaries. Since the lending does not affect current or future benefits at all, or current or future program revenues, or the balances in the trust fund, there is no negative effect in the trust fund whatsoever. In fact, by lending surpluses to the Treasury, it is actually investing them in the most secure kind of asset, a government bond. Now, when you explain how it actually works, well, you realize that it's not a raid at all, and they're just lying to you. But why? Why do they have to lie? Because it works. It's a program that works. People like Lee and Musk, they hate that it works because it shows that universal government programs to alleviate poverty are actually effective and are popular, and they hate it. Social Security Works, a advocacy group, said on Tuesday that by amplifying Lee's thread to his hundreds of millions of followers, Musk just declared war on Social Security. For 89 years, through war and peace, boom, time and bust, health and pandemics, Social Security has never missed a single payment, said Alex Lawson, SSW's executive director. Compared to the risky alternatives on Wall Street, which, by the way, Um, we had an entire financial collapse back in 2008, and actually, we routinely have financial collapses. Okay, and so where the Wall Street markets crash, and lots of people lose lots of money, and some even throw themselves out windows as a result. It's never happened with Social Security. It's always been there. And so you want to trust your retirement money with the thing that happens to go boom and bust every, I don't know, 20 or 30 years, as opposed to a program that for over 90 years hasn't missed a single payment. I mean, I know where I'd want to put my money. Okay. Now, he also said if billionaires like Elon Musk paid into Social Security at the same rate as the rest of us on all of their income, we could expand benefits for everyone and pay them in full forever to the end of time. 100% true. The billionaires literally stopped paying into Social Security like within the first day of the year because they hit the cap on taxable earning. And that's it. They don't have to pay anymore. Why don't we remove that cap? Again, you could fund it forever. Oh, wait, the reason that we don't remove the cap is because rich people don't want to pay more. That's the reality. Now, there's more. Lawson said, this is a declaration of war against seniors, people with disabilities, and the American public. The Republicans are coming for your Social Security, which they call a nightmare. Elon Musk's commission, the Doge Commission, is a plot to destroy our Social Security by giving it to Wall Street executives so that you get nothing and they get everything. Spitting truth there. We've seen this play again and again. When Republicans destroyed defined benefit pension plans, they claimed that the market would be able to create amazing returns for everybody. Instead, workers got pennies, while Wall Street managers got billions. That is always the plan. We will defeat this Republican effort to steal our earned benefits. The money is ours. Mike Lee, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump, you're not going to get a penny of it. I love how strong all that statement is. Okay. Now, Richard Fiesta, executive director of the Alliance for Retired Americans, certainly denounced Lee's thread and Musk's promotion of it to his millions of followers, saying both, quote, should enrage and concern every American who has contributed to Social Security, which would be every single working person who's ever had a job, who's ever worked. So it's all of our money that he's trying to steal. Senator Mike Lee has dreamed about phasing out Social Security and the benefits generations of Americans have earned for more than a decade. His bad ideas have been rightfully ignored, but last night he got a big assist from Elon Musk, who amplified Lee's wrong-headed views about Social Security on X. Social Security is a solemn promise between the American people and the government. We pay for Social Security's guaranteed benefits with every paycheck and expect them to be there when we retire, lose a spouse or parent, or become disabled. No one voted to phase out Social Security or let Wall Street gamble with their earned benefits. Older Americans will rightly punish any politician who tries to cut their benefits or gut the system that has worked for generations. That's true. There is a reason why Republicans, when they're running for office, say, oh, no, we're going to defend Social Security. Even though behind the scenes, they want to cut it, okay, for their donors, all right? There's a reason. It's because it's popular. It's because it works. Now, that said, what about Trump? Didn't he promise not to touch Social Security? Well, yes and no. So on the campaign trail, he's like, I will not touch Social Security or Medicare. I will defend them. But then what? He pushed proposals that would actually weaken the program and speed up the depletion of the trust fund. Okay. So yeah. Not only that, but there's a lot of Republican lawmakers who supported Donald Trump and who Trump supported, and they have called for raising the Social Security retirement age, which is, at the end of the day, a benefit cut. For example, this guy, Rich McCormick.
We can't just talk about the military, though. The military can do some things better. We can save some money just in the way of contract. We're going to be careful that we don't decrease our abilities because China is right on our heels. However, if you talk about 75% of the budget, 75% is non-discretionary. We're going to have some hard decisions. We got to bring the Democrats in and talk about Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. There's hundreds of billions of dollars to be saved, and we know how to do it. We just have to have the stomach to actually take those challenges on. But we can't just talk about our discretionary budget. That's less than 25% of our budget. We have to have some real hard discussions.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some real hard discussions, right? About cutting food and housing and stuff for elderly Americans who can't work. We're gonna have that discussion. Why is that a hard discussion that we need to have, and why are we never able to have the discussion of why don't we just tax rich people more? Oh, right. It's because the people in Washington, D.C. who are making these decisions are corrupt and paid for by corporations and wealthy people. And by the way, a lot of our members of Congress are millionaires. So they would end up having to pay more in taxes too. So you understand how this game is rigged. Okay. Now, that said, that guy, McCormick, yeah, he can F straight off. All right. Any Democrat that seriously wants to have a discussion where they put Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid on the table for cuts should be primaried to oblivion and beyond. All right. Gone. All right. Like, no, we're not having that discussion. Okay. Not having it at all.
Bing, 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 boom.
He's gone.
It's gone.
You're gone. You're gone. Get out. You're not a Democrat. F off. Now, that same guy, by the way, when he was asked about defense cuts, he said that he's not really a big fan of that idea. Oh, he's not a big fan of doing cuts to the Pentagon, who just failed their 7th straight audit. Really now? This guy's like, we can't possibly consider cutting the Pentagon budget. China's on our heels. China! It's China! Well, we got to keep up with China by, making seniors disabled pay. Right. Of course. Now, there's more. Richmond added, it signals where Trump's MAGA allies in Congress are heading towards privatization and benefit cuts, something the majority of Americans across party lines say they do not want. That's right. We don't want that. We don't want cuts to these programs. Simple as that. Simple as that. Now, as far as Musk and his little dog department, okay, Salon's Heather Parton writes this. Musk has been clear that he believes the government has to be cut to the bone immediately, which he admits will cause hardship that we will just have to bear. Of course, he will not bear any of this hardship whatsoever. Well, of course not. It's never the wealthy, it's never the well-off that deal with any kind of hardship. Notice how that always happens to be the case. It's ridiculous. She says, Musk expects people to suffer in order to save the country from bankruptcy, which he has decided is imminent. We literally can't go bankrupt. We print our own money. The country prints its own money. You can't go bankrupt when you print your own money. Now, there are issues, you can create inflation, you can create hyperinflation. We've had inflation, and that's not good. The rate of inflation has slowed significantly. Now, one of the issues that created this high inflation was, of course, greedy corporations that decided we're going to take advantage of the situation and just raise our prices, which explains why corporations are more profitable than they have ever been before. If they were really beset by inflation, they would not be this profitable. Okay? But they are. They are. Now, of course, some of that early inflation was real, and it came from the pandemic that Donald Trump had grossly mismanaged. Okay? But then you had all these bills that passed through Congress, and a lot of it was shockingly corporate welfare. Yes, corporate welfare bills. And they use that spending as an excuse to raise prices, these companies. So not only did they get massive amounts of welfare, and paycheck protection loans, which they didn't, a lot of cases didn't have to pay back. So they had gotten those loans forgiven. But then they decided we're going to pad our pockets even more. Okay, after getting those paycheck protection loans, where we did massive billions of dollars in stock buybacks. Yes, that's what happened. Now we're gonna raise prices and blame inflation. All right, we're gonna blame the people that got $2,000 stimmy checks. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blame them, and then we're gonna laugh all the way to the bank. And of course, when the debt did go up, because it did, they decided, you know what? We're going to pay our cretins in Congress to go and try to cut their Social Security benefits and their Medicare, their health care. Wouldn't that be great? No, it would be terrible. Completely awful. Okay. Now, getting back to Heather Parton, she writes, Russell Vought and his right-wing Christian nationalist allies want to completely decimate the administrative state, so they may just declare that the program is insolvent and cut benefits across the board. So yeah, that's one of the concerns there. Okay, but what about Donald Trump? Again, Donald Trump said he was going to actually protect it, right? I wouldn't count on that because he lies. He lies all the time, and he doesn't actually care about seniors. He's not running for re-election. In fact, she writes that, quote, he never has to face another voter. And that is the only reason he ever promised to keep his hands off the programs in the first place. Trump can do somersaults on the third rail now, and it can't hurt him at all. His party is another story, but he doesn't care about them either. See, there it is, too. Trump's a sociopath. So, did you give a crap about the Republican Party? No, not at all. So, I mean, that is pretty dangerous, okay? Look, the fact is that Republicans have had their eyes set on cutting Social Security for a very, very long time. And now, unfortunately, because, and I don't want to go through like all the reasons that Kamala Harris's campaign failed, but there were quite a few of them, many of them. Unfortunately, the American people chose Donald Trump and gave Republicans one of the best chances they'll ever have to destroy or weaken it. And unless the people that are going to be affected rise up and say very clearly, very loudly, hands off my money, bitch, then they're going to try to make off with the biggest robbery of the American people that we're ever going to see, that we've ever seen. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.